What is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. So excited to be joining you once again on this great evening. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen in to the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, episodes drop weeknights at 11 p.m. on our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk out of Dallas, Georgia, as well as WDJYFM.com. You can also tune into our show via podcast. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Let's see here. You can stream it as well on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is R Smooth Club Media. Again, it's the letter R and then Smooth Club Media. You can also check us out on Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show. So multiple ways you can check us out. You can also follow us on our social media pages like X, formerly known as Twitter, at the Arrington Gavin Show, as well as Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. So multiple ways you can stay in touch, stay engaged with us, and if you would like to get more in depth with the conversation, possibly even uh uh checking the adding some more questions, some more topics, some more stories, stuff that you want to hear on the program, do me a favor. You can text us at 757-955-0656. Again, that's 757-955-0656. You can also DM us on our social media page on Instagram as well. So multiple avenues multiple ways you can stay engaged and in touch. Man, what we have in store for you today? It looks like here California Governor Gavin Newsom is not looking so shabby in the black community. What I mean by that is because recently he vetoed a bill that would have it was actually a black reparations bill, and we're hearing a lot about reparations, and you would think, especially him being a Democratic governor, somebody that is in a very blue state, someone that is uh, uh was literally a contender at the time for VP, which it really wouldn't have worked out because they're both within the same state. But his name was up there. His name was always mentioned as a top contender in the new generation of political leaders, especially in the a star in the Democratic Party. So this is a little iffy right here. Also, follow up with the whole Eric Adams situation. Yet some more people from his team, his administration has resigned. A lot of people are advising, recommending, throwing out there, Eric Adams, that you should resign. That's not me, but that's what a lot of people are saying. Also, Pierce Morgan. Pierce Morgan recently had singer Jaguar Wright, who was making some off the wall, some very aggressive allegations towards some not political figures, excuse me, some high profile figures in the music and entertainment world, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. And due to the again off the wall accusations that she is stirring up, Jaguar Wright, that is, the legal team of Jay-Z and Beyonce has basically told Pierce Morgan, you gonna have to you gotta apologize, bro, because that was some off the wall stuff that you mentioned. And look, we spoke about it a little bit here on the program, and I gave you my 2 cents on what I think about Pierce Morgan currently in his career. Nothing ill will towards him as an individual, but just I think the route that he's choosing to go with his, as a person as a journalist, as a person in the media side, it's a tacky avenue, might I say. It's a very, very tacky avenue that he's leaning. He's pushing for all the likes and views. Okay. So I'll talk a little more about that later on. Also, Houston mega pastor Keon Henderson back in the limelight again, back in the news, back in the public eye of saying some crazy stuff. I don't know what's up with this guy. And also, if we have some time later on, I'll talk about this story regarding a former BLM Black Lives Matter leader who is now sentenced to federal prison. So we'll talk more about that on the program. Before we move forward, I always have to acknowledge and thank some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Rugged Evolution. Rugged Evolution is an all-natural men's grooming line that offers 17-scented beard balms, beard oils, conditioning shampoos, everything you need to help enhance your facial hair care needs, especially the skin underneath the hair. For those who are supporters of the program, for those who will watch this program via our streaming platforms, you have noticed I am a man that sports a beard, and I always have had a beard since college. Okay, I started growing my facial hair in high school, and I never looked back. That being said, having facial hair, it is not easy maintaining a healthy set of facial hair. Beards, goatee, mustaches, again, you name it. Our facial hair is the magnet to bacteria and grease. So it's up to you to have a routine, have an amazing product that you can help take care and help maintain that facial hair. Rugged Evolution Beard Care is that product. For more information about them, you can visit their website by going online to www.ruggedevo.com. Again, that's www.ruggedevo.com. All right, my friends. Look, when we come back, we'll have more on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere. Don't change that dial. When we come back, we're going to have, of course, our fun fact of the day, and then we'll get it going with our first story. So don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show.
Just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your host, Arrington Gavin. Let's get it going, of course, with our first segment, as we always like to do here on the show, our fun fact of the day. All right. So, says here that our fun fact, did you know a team of 6 women programmed the first digital computer? I'm telling you, women rule the world. Says here, while historians have only recently recognized their achievements, the female mathematicians participated in a World War II program coding instructions into the revolutionary electronic numerical integrator and computer, ENIAC for short. So, of course, I know what you're going to say. Duh, of course they did. They created so much other stuff because they did. Let's be honest. I say it again. I'll say it thousands of times. Women rule the world. The world. So again, Be sure to always tune into the Arrington Gavin Show to find out a good fun fact. Because here on this program, we always love to leave you here, learning something. It's always good to just learn something that you might have not known ever, or ever even like, whoa, I did not know that. Share with a friend, share with family, and then also share the show with them as well. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, let's get it going, y'all, with our first story of the day. So I mentioned before, Gavin Newsom, Democratic governor out of California. The man got a good head of hair, good looking guy. He seems presidential, right? But I'll be honest, he I'm iffy about Newsom, because I remember at the time when when everybody was pretty clueless about the pandemic, he was one of the ones that was very aggressive with the restrictions, right? Saying, hey, look, stay inside, no areas, don't be unmasked, blase, blase, blase. Turns out they have surveillance. They have literally pictures of him out and about, no mask, having a great time in a room of a lot of people. At the time, it was like, oh, you can't do more than like 8. You can't have more than 8 people within the same space. Oh, it was like 20, 50 of them. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's one of those guys, right? So I was just like, I didn't care for that as much. And then you gotta look at it. He has his hands full in the state of California. California has a horrific homeless issue, especially where are they called squatters, where homeless people literally will be just roaming around other people's property, or even when people are gone and they break in. It's almost like you have issues having to remove them from your own property. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot going on in Cali. And hey, is the weather great? Yes. Is it expensive as hell? Yes. Okay. In my opinion, it's a lot of hype, because you got forest fires, you got mudslides, you got earthquakes, you got high ass just interest rates there. Okay. I mean, literally, like, the cost of living is insane in the state of California. All right. And then you have homeless. And I'm not talking about like a few people from each corner. No, I'm talking about communities of homeless people. Because let's be honest, it's so expensive. If you don't work, you're gonna have to literally have a job that is 6 figures and above to just survive living in California. So it's I'm not crazy about Cali. I really I'm not. Yes, you have all the stars live there, and the rich and famous, and the very wealthy. Look, that's what that area is for. But California, for me, it was just a lot of hype. But as I digress, let me continue on with this story. So Gavin Newsom recently vetoes a bill to help vetoes bill to help black families reclaim land for being impossible to implement. So the proposal by itself wouldn't have been able to take a full effect, because lawmakers blocked another bill to create a reparations agency that would have reviewed claims. Now, let me go ahead and bring up this soundbite. Give me 1 second, my friends.
California Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill that would have created a process for Black families to file claims for land taken through discriminatory use of eminent domain. The eminent domain bill was inspired by a 2022 case where Los Angeles area officials returned beachfront property to a Black couple a century after its unjust seizure. Senator Stephen Bradford, the bill's author, viewed the proposal as a crucial step toward reparations and correcting historical wrongs. The veto dealt a significant blow to a key part of the California Legislative Black Caucus's reparations package aimed at addressing decades of racial disparities. The Department of Finance opposed the bill, citing potential annual costs ranging from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. The Newsom administration proposed allocating $6 million to California State University to fund a study on a reparations task force, signaling a potential shift from direct action to further research. California Governor.
So spend the money on a task force. So you're spending money for people to, hey, look, I'm going to give you a task. Find this out. We're going to keep on funding you this money rather than actually going through the proper research, which they have already had. Because if I, you know, if my memory stands corrected, there was a family that end up receiving land that was owned by their family, and it happened to be a beach. The beach, I believe, was worth maybe like, I'm gonna say 7 million dollars, excuse me. The family ended up selling it, which was perfect. They sold it, got the money for it. I believe they're either still in California or they might have moved out. All right. So as I read a little more of this in context, it says here that let's see. Okay. The bill would have created a process for families to file a claim with the state if they believe the government seized their property through eminent domain due to discriminatory motives and without providing fair compensation. Now, the proposal by itself would not have been able to take full effect because lawmakers blocked another bill to create a reparations agency that would have reviewed claims. And there's a quote here from Newsom saying, "I thank the author of the commitment to redressing past racial injustices. Excuse me. However, this bill tasks a non-existent state agency to carry out its various provisions and requirements, making it impossible to implement." Now, the veto dealt a blow to a key part of the package of reparations bills that California Legislative Black Caucus backed this year in an effect to help the state atone for decades of policies. Now, that drove racial disparities for Black Americans. The caucus sent another proposal to Newsom's desk that would require the state to formally apologize for slavery and its lingering impacts. Now, improved protections against hair discrimination for athletes and combat the banning of books in state prisons. Says here that Democratic State Senator Stephen Bradford introduced the eminent domain bill after Los Angeles area's officials in 2022 returned a beachfront property to a Black couple a century after it was taken from their ancestors through an eminent domain. Now, Bradford said in the statement earlier this year that his proposal was part of a crucial framework for reparations and corrections a historic wrong. Here's the thing, and I hope I'm wrong, but once again, this is when people feel mistreated, like their promises are not being met, because Newsom had recently got reelected. Because remember at the time, Larry Elder, conservative commentator, known conservative voice out of the California area, he ran for governor. He was very close. He was a Republican candidate against Newsom. He ended up losing. Newsom's back at the helm. And one of the key things was reparations. Now, okay, we're bringing some ideas to you, and it's getting vetoed. Now, there's one side can say, okay, see, bunch of lies, bro. He did this for his own personal gain. All he thinks about is himself. He don't care about us. Whatever. Okay, another side can say, well, maybe it wasn't fully crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. Maybe he wants this to be perfect, that can really benefit the Black households and families in the state of California. That could be a possibility too. So one person is saying on I've seen another one which makes sense. It says it was vetoed because the person who introduced the bill tied it to a non-existent agency. Let's see here. Let me see here. Says here that Newsom said he did not sign SB 1050 because the bill tasks a non-existent state agency to carry out its various provisions and requirements. So the non-existent agency, the California African American Freedmen Affairs Agency, would have been created by SB 1403, a bill introduced by Bradford. However, the legislator did not bring that bill up for a vote on the assembly floor during the legislative session. So now, okay. So in this case, who's the person to blame at this point? That's where I'm curious, because one thing we all have to always do, guys, we always have to do our proper research instead of hearing the headlines. Now, obviously, this headlines brings off a great conversation because they're like, let's see. I see some people, and I'm just reading comments right now. Some people are saying this whole reparations process has been a complete slap in the face. They only wanted to agree to a formal apology, so real repair, no funds, nothing, just an apology. Like, honestly, what is that going to do? There's no kind of apology that can suffice what was done to us. Totally understand. I totally understand. I'm not reading these names out loud, but just giving you some some things that the outside world, right, everyday people are saying about this. One person saying something was clearly wrong with this bill. They will rewrite and propose it again. The things take time. I hope he's able to do something more solid and foundational before the term ends in 2026. Very true. Let's hope so. Let's hope so, guys, because again, I don't think that Newsom would cross the black community like that, because that's one of his prime supporters, especially in the state of California. That's one of his prime supporters is the black community, especially when you look at the just Democratic Party in general. It has a huge African American support base, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, it is. Again, Newsom is one of the top stars in the Democratic Party. Hopefully, this reparations bill would get passed very soon. I know it's an ongoing conversation in politics, in bunches of states, not just the state of California. Everywhere, even on a federal level, they're asking, okay, what's your take on reparations? I will have the conversation more in depth in the future here on this program. I'm not ready to have the conversation yet. I would love to speak with experts, people who are on the side of it, people who are not on the side of it. Let's get the mind frame. Let's have that conversation going. So I'll bring that up a little later on in the far future. Let's see. Let me digress from that one, my friends, to a more humorous story. So let me get you a good little chuckle real quick. I recently saw an image of the owner of the Oakland Raiders and the Las Vegas Aces, Mark Davis. Mark Davis, son of Al Davis, legendary owner of the Super Bowl winning Raiders. It's a post because he's 69 years old. His girlfriend currently is 26 years old. Okay. This man says that his girlfriend didn't know he was a billionaire, and she was just attracted to his smile. Bruh. Bruh. That's what my nieces, I've heard one of my nieces say that one time. Bruh. Let me tell you something, Mark. You're probably a really nice guy. You probably have a good heart. I'm not gonna compliment your smile. I'm not gonna do that, sir. I'll be smiling my ass too if I was a billionaire. I'll be cheesing like a mug. Okay. I'll be cheese all day, every day. He's definitely known for only Mark Davis can rock the hairstyle that he has. Please look up the owner of the Raiders, Mark Davis, the what are they, the Las Vegas Raiders now? Yeah, Las Vegas Raiders. Please look up the hairstyle. It's a very interesting. It's like a, what is it? Is that considered a bob? It's like, I don't know what kind of haircut you call it, but it's interesting. Um yes, Mark Davis has a very young girlfriend. I think that helps him inside to know that, oh, she didn't even know I was a billionaire. She just wanted me, she was just attracted to me because of my smile. Let me tell you something. What attracts a 26-year-old to a 70-year-old man? Okay, security, stability, uh, 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 um, a well taken care of future. Okay, someone to help take care of her and all her needs. Let me tell you something. You're a billionaire with a capital B. Best believe this girl knew who you were, and you either met her in California or Las Vegas. Best believe she is looking for her meal ticket. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that harsh, guys? Am I being mean here? Because what do y'all even talk about? Like, what do y'all talk about? How I cannot fathom. I cannot fathom. Now I guess there's some old dogs out there like, yeah, go get him, Mark. Yeah, I see you. Man, Mark popping in them blue Skittles. Okay. And I'm just saying, it's trust me, Mark is not the only matter of fact, he isn't the only one. Super Bowl winning head football coach, now retired, uh Bill Belichick. Yes, I thought it was false, but apparently it is very, very true. So Bill Belichick also is dating very young. He has a girlfriend too. I'm not aware of her name, nor do I care. But as I pull up this graphic for you all who are watching, you see he has a young girlfriend, extremely young. Now, Bill, let me see here. Let me see here. There we go. So the sad thing is, okay, Bill is 72 years old. 72 years old. At the time when he was coaching the Patriots, he was dating somebody I think was like maybe late 50s. Okay, that's not bad. You're still, that's a grown woman that you're dating there, my friend. Uh Somebody who's towards the retirement age. Um let me see here. Does it have okay. So his girlfriend now she's a former cheerleader, 24 years old. I'm sorry. This is I'm getting a gross taste in my mouth right now. Like, I'm getting a little queasy in the stomach. Okay, I'm getting a little squeeze right in the center, because I don't, I get it, but I just hope, I know these guys are not that naive thinking, oh, she just loves me. She's attracted to my good looks. Bro, you're old enough to be her grandfather. Maybe even great grandfather. 72, 24 years old. 72, 24 years old. You and Mark, y'all nasty. Y'all keep on winning though, because hey, you paid. You know you can retire whenever, and you have young, attractive girlfriends. But best believe a lot of people are just like, this is disgusting. This is sick. This is very disgusting. I mean, it's just nasty. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. See, I'm blessed because I'm married young. I'm married very young. I'm my wife's just maybe like a couple years younger than me, so I got me a youngin, you know. But see, she's naturally beautiful. Okay, she's one of those ones that we can be in our 80s, and my wife will most likely still be getting carded by by people say, "Ooh, can I see some ID, ma'am?" She's just that fine. Okay, she's just that fine. I mean, and look, I'm fortunate because I can be a handful. Okay, I can be a handful, but she loves me for who I am, and all. And I think, I don't know. I need to ask her. I don't know if my smile attracted her. Like maybe I had a Mark Davis moment. Hmm. I gotta think about that. I don't know. Let me digress from this, my friends. All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere, and do me a favor, do not change that dial. We'll be back with more here on the program. All right, my friends, welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. All right, next up, as I mentioned, as one of our stories of the day, Piers Morgan, host of Piers Morgan Uncensored, recently issued an apology after having singer controversial figure Jaguar Wright on. Let me play this soundbite for you, and then I'll meet you on the other side.
The thing about platforms, the reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as there's something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologize to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, now...
Let me tell you, they will not playing with Piers Morgan's behind. Let me tell you something. That has been the first ever time I've seen Piers. I mean, you could tell he was shaking. He's like, but my show is called Piers Morgan Uncensored. Why should I? Hey, they said, sir, it was time to censor it right now. It's time to censor Piers Morgan censored. I mean, like at one point, you know, Piers Morgan was a respected journalist. I remember years back he was next in line when the late great Larry King retired from CNN, a program that a network that he was on forever. When he retired, the next person with the program in that same time slot was none other than Piers Morgan. Now, at the time, a lot of people really didn't know who Piers Morgan was. I found out about Piers Morgan on he was one of the judges on America's Got Talent, right? And so his background, he was an editor for a newspaper out in England, or a magazine, one or the other. He's always worked in media, journalist, print, and digital. And so he was given this show. It was a hit. I think it lasted almost 4 years, 3.5 years, maybe 4 years. Had great interviews amongst everybody on both sides of the aisle. And then he finished that, went to, what was it, Good Morning Great Britain, or it was a very popular, I'll just say it was like the GMA of the Good Morning America of Britain. That he was one of the top host on that program. Since then he left that program due to controversy about his opinion on Meghan Markle, Prince Harry. He left that program. And then he had what did he do after that? He was absent for a short minute, and then it said, boom, Piers Morgan signed with the new channel Talk TV, which was owned by the Murdochs. It was somewhat of another, I wouldn't say Fox News across the pond, but at least it was pushing in that direction, right? So he was going to be hosting a show called Piers Morgan Uncensored, because look, the fact of the matter is people tried to cancel him, and now he's like, no, I'm coming back bigger, better than ever. Piers Morgan Uncensored. He was that prime like captain of that channel, and now it's a streaming channel. I think it's just on YouTube. I don't know if they have their cable television platform really anymore, but he's still doing, doing his show. And it's been kind of like the show of where you're gonna always get debates, the show where you're gonna get uncensored conversations, topics, guests, the whole 9 yards. But in a sense, it was leaning almost a little trashy, right? So he brings this individual up, Jaguar Wright, and Jaguar Wright comes with these off the wall allegations. Let me see if I can read some of it right here. Jaguar is known for telling salacious stories and making allegations against several celebrities. In particular, in this interview, she accused Beyonce and Jay-Z of having, and I won't mention before, but it was some serious allegations that she made, even bringing up the late great singer Aaliyah's name up. Again, she made some very, very aggressive aggressive allegations, enough for Piers Morgan to again get censored. So I think good for Piers. Because see, here's the thing, y'all. Media journalists, they should not think that they're unstoppable, undefeated, and I think that's where I respect where people put their foot down. I'm all for freedom of speech. I'm all for, freedom of expression, but at the end of the day, when you start really, it's clear evidence that she's lying, trying to cause harm, trying to take down someone's name and their character, and it's disgusting. So I'm happy that they silenced this individual down, because again, when you're known to cause and stir up the pot, look, maybe she'll go on a reality TV show, because most of the time they're the ones that love to hear these stories, those off the wall, just weird conversations and allegations. Just take her to Zeus or something. I mean, like, take her to some just yeah, give her a reality show. Most best believe she will be on someone's reality show or another trashy podcast that will be like, oh yeah, she needs a platform, let's bring it up on here. It's gonna happen sooner or later. But yes, so that happened recently, my friend. So let's move it on. How we looking with time? Doing good with time? Okay, perfect. So now the question will be is, will Piers Morgan start watching who he brings on as guests? Would he give them a rundown of like, hey, look, what are we going to talk about again? I mean, seriously, are we going to start seeing an adjustment, a shift now in the theme of Piers Morgan's show? Because I mean, literally, this is the first time ever he had to apologize after having a guest on. So, as I mentioned before, would this be now a new shift in the type of content Piers Morgan wants to put out? So it will be interesting. I will definitely keep you guys posted on this story. But as I digress, we're going to move it on to another story. We're going to take you to church. That's right, my friends. We're going to take you to church. So Houston Pastor Keon Henderson, another, how can I say, a very controversial individual. Pastor Keon Henderson, who I've actually had the opportunity to run into in person. Years back, he came to my hometown to speak at a church, and he preached a sermon, saw him walking in the hallway amongst his security guards. You know, we just nodded head and addressed it like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" kind of thing. Nothing like, nothing worth having a conversation about. He was not married to Shawnee O'Neal, which she's now Henderson, but Shaquille O'Neal's ex-wife Shawnee, and so he just seems like he seems like a very well-known minister coming out of Houston, Texas, has a massive congregation, a massive platform. But he's been saying a lot of, or just doing a lot of off the wall controversy things, right? And I feel as though that's like a topic we'll eventually speak on the program, and I'll have ministers from all different denominations, different years of experience in ministry, just to get their take on it. But he's always wanted to go viral. He's had moments where he literally shushed a lady in person. I mean, excuse me, in public. While on stage, he shushed her. Said, "Shush, tell her, be quiet, be quiet." He's asked he's been a pastor, just like many other pastors, asked them for a lot of money, millions, to help make some repairs or help personal benefits, right? Then recently he's criticized for saying to congregants won't be blessed by giving to the poor. What? Let me play the soundbite for you. I'm not joking. Let me play the soundbite for you, and then we'll speak a little bit more on the other side.
Here's the other problem with the church is that anytime a person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something, the poor will be with you always. And there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication. Multiplication is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself. So when you give $1 to somebody on the street talking about I did my job, God like, thank you, but it ain't gonna help you. Bible. Charity does not bring wealth. What? Only the tithe does that. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna preach on it. Here's the other problem with.
So I'm sorry. I gotta laugh at it first. Because the man clearly said that when you give to the poor, that's not gonna gain wealth to you. If you give $1 to the poor, that's not gonna make you a wealthy person. You're not gonna be blessed if you give to the poor, only if you tithe. Now, I'm a believer, right? I'm a believer, born in the church. I was, raised in the church. I attended private Christian school. I mean, it's literally like that. That's my upbringing, right? One thing that is funny, and that's the reason why I'm laughing, because my wife and we always kind of have the little debate. My wife is a cheerful giver. She really is. I am a giver, but in different ways. It's not always money. And I'm just that skeptic where if I see a homeless person on the street and I see the sign, I'm not going to say, what it will read, but sometimes I'm just like, okay, you got to be careful, because there have been many stories of people faking being homeless so they can get some change. There's some people that might have addiction that says, okay, look, I want you to give me this money or this dollar, whatever, and I might spend it on a pack of cigarettes. I might spend it on alcohol. I might spend it on some drug. You don't know what will happen. So I've kind of been a little skeptic when it gives, and maybe I'm being a little harsh. And my wife says the same thing. You're being a little harsh. Sometimes I'm like this. What, I got to hear your story, bro. What led you to here? Well, let me hear your story first. What brought you to this state of life where you have to wait on the street corner to ask for change? Because for me, I'm like, I see places always looking for help. Work needed, work needed, work needed, work needed. And I'm like, all these places that that you're surrounded by is asking for, hey, for workers, but yet you're standing on this street corner asking for change. And I'll be honest, I I had a chuckle with my wife too, because there was an old clip with Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley said I was about to give some money to a homeless person, and Michael Jordan slapped my hand, and he's like, well, Michael, what are you doing? He's like, you better not give him no money. Like, why not? And he said, if he can ask you, sir, may I borrow some spare change, he can easily say, hey, welcome to McDonald's. I was on the floor, because literally that's sometimes how I think. And again, it can be a little harsh, but that's how I think. Now, let me kind of go back to Pastor Keon. The reason why I disagree with what he had to say is because, once again, he's saying to pour money into his establishment. Now, at the end of the day, it's always great to be affiliated with a church, but best believe, if your personal well-being is not attached to the word, if you're not reading your scripture and having your understanding on it, this is between you and God. Sometimes you don't always have to be attached, I won't say attached with the church, but you everywhere you go, is your temple. Your body is your temple. So he's saying, don't give to the poor, get to my church. Don't give to the poor, tithe, give to the church. That's what turns off a lot of people, especially when it comes to the very high successful mega ministers. Again, he has thousands and thousands of members. This man is definitely worth more than $5 million, maybe 10 million. Easy. The funny thing is, if you hear people in the background, they're like, yep, well, yep. They don't know nothing. They're following him. I feel like every time a minister pauses, he's waiting for that response, like, y'all like that I just gave y'all. Y'all like that I just kind of shook it up for you, bro. You like that. So let me read this, and this is an article reported by the ChristianPost.com. Yes, there is a Christian Post. Thought that was pretty cool. Because this is where this article is on. He is the lead pastor for Lighthouse Church in Houston, Texas. It says here that mega pastor Keon Henderson has drawn the criticism of Bible-believing pastors and Christians in recent days over a resurfaced clip from one 2023 sermons, in which he is seen telling congregants that they won't get wealthy or blessing from God by giving to the poor, but only when the tithe to church. Now, here's one thing I do not like about this, is that they're going way back. This is 2024, about to be 2025 soon. This is last year. So a lot has changed, but this was in November of last year. So not too far, but still, why y'all bringing up old stuff? Anyway, I'll still continue the story because we don't know. He could possibly still have that mindset. He could still possibly have those views that he shared on his sermon. In a controversial clip taken, it says here that the sermon entitled "It's All About the Benjamins," the founder and CEO of Lighthouse Church and Ministries, said he finds it problematic that every time someone is in need, the church likes to donate money to them. He said, "Let me tell you something. The poor will be with you always, and there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication." Henderson said, "Multiplication is segregated for tithes and offerings. When you give to the poor, the only thing that you do is help them, but you don't help yourself." Does he have a point there? I mean, sometimes being a cheerful giver can help you be more humble. So technically, it can help you. Now, you are spending your money that you could possibly save, so you technically lose money. I mean, I don't know. It's a conversation. It's a conversation. We will probably see a or hear a clip from Pastor Keon Henderson talking more about this, but we will see. We will see in regards to if he will, say, hey, look, an old video clip resurfaced. I just want to apologize because I was very wrong. I mean, he might, I don't know. He might just say, look, y'all just trying to take me down. Ain't gonna happen no more. It's not gonna happen. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and move it on because I'm looking at our time. We're having about less than 10 minutes, and I really want to share this story. Recently, BLM leader sentenced to federal prison. This always irritates me because I feel as though at the beginning, I'm pro the BLM movement, right? As far as the movement is Black Lives Matter. There's still in our society, there are people of color, Black people especially, that are mistreated. All right. That's just a fact. It happens when we're trying to we're people that are trying to be first time home buyers and literally if they're trying to sell a home, it might get appraised lower due to people will find out, oh, Black people lived here. Oh, so let me contact my white friends so they can bring the price. I mean, seriously, it was a story not too long ago here. A very highly successful doctor, okay, Black woman, single woman, was purchasing a beautiful home down by the beach here in Virginia, Hampton Roads. When that homeowner found out that she was Black, she didn't want to sell it. She didn't want to sell anymore, purposely because of her color. So I say all that to say is we try so hard. Black Lives Matter is such a positive message, yet it's always in the hands and is led by the wrong people. Since then, the Black Lives Matter organization was initially, and let me actually give you a quick background of Black Lives Matter, the organization. Excuse me. Black Lives Matter, BLM for short, is a decentralized political and social movement that seeks to highlight racism, discrimination, and racial inequality experienced by Black people and to promote anti-racism. Its primary concerns are police brutality, racial motivated violence against Black people. The movement began in a response to the killings of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, and Rakita Boyd, among others. Now, BLM is and its related organizations typically advocate for various policies changing related to Black liberation and criminal justice reform. Now, while there are specific organizations that label themselves as Black Lives Matter, such as the Black Lives Matters Global Network Foundation, the overall movement is a decentralized network with no formal hierarchy. As of 2021, there are about 40 chapters in the United States and Canada. The slogan Black Lives Matters itself has been trademarked by any group, but has not been trademarked, by any group. This organization was established in 2013. Now, for a while, it has been in the news for the wrong reason. Again, it goes to when a lot of money starts coming into play. That's when you start having issues. Obviously, you're gonna have people who are against Black Lives Matters, and just feel as though like you're trying to cause more harm than good. Let me just give you two things. Okay, they've been caught up in mismanaging funds, allegations of mismanaging funds by the organization Black Lives Matters Global Network Foundation was raised after funds were used to purchase a home that cost $6 million in Southern California to be used as a facility for a Black Artist Fellowship. The property included 6 bedrooms, a recording studio, and swimming pool. One of the other founders, I'm forgetting her name to save my life, but she was caught up. One of the co-founders of the movement, 4 homes, 4 mansions, okay, in different locations. For they weren't cheap homes, and again, that's where it's like I look at you funny. Why do you need all those homes? I don't care if you have to do countless of travel here and there. I mean, like, why these massive homes? I don't understand. Also, they have been accused of lack of focus on unsolved murders and missing persons cases. There's been parents and families that says, hey, look, You've promoted so much by speaking about my child who lost a lot, yet nothing was ever done. Nothing was ever done, and I'm frustrated with that. And which is it's very unfortunate that stuff like that does occur. But again, I've met with some remarkable people that work amongst the Black Lives Matter movement. I still think that a lot of them do mean well and do want to do great things for their community. Each chapters are very different, especially when they're in different states and things like that. They have different movement, different causes. I don't always agree with the with some of the leaders with the movement, but hey, I do think that they do mean well. This gentleman right here, Sir Major Page, ex-BLM leader, sentenced to federal prison. It says here he's sentenced to 42 months for spending donated funds on a house and an escort. Says here, okay, there we go. A former head of Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta has been sentenced to prison on charges of wire fraud and money laundering. Says here that Tyree Coyers Page, also known as Sir Major Page, was sentenced to 42 months in prison in Ohio. Prosecutors said that Page took money donated to the organization through Facebook and used it for travel, personal items, and a home in Toledo, Ohio. In court, Page claimed some of the money he spent on his own lifestyle was part of a reasonable salary for managing the organization. Though he admitted to prosecutors he never consulted anyone with the organization about what his pay should have been. Wow, dude. Wow. Page has been found guilty on 1 count of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering in April after 6 days of trial. Allegations surfaced in April of 2020 when the FBI's National Threat Operations received a complaint accusing Page of misrepresenting himself as a leader of the Black Lives Matter movement and misusing the organization funds. Now, according to prosecutors, their investigation revealed that Page has established a social media page named Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta, BLMGA, and registered it as a nonprofit capable of receiving donations with a significant presence on the fundraising platform GoFundMe. I'm running a little short on time, my friends, but just to let's just say here, Page showcased solely by Page showcased minor transactions never exceeded $5,000. However, in the wake of George Floyd's death, donations surged in June of 2020, witnessing approximately $36,000. July 2020, around why is my notes acting up like this? Because I'm pressing with time. It says here, okay, June of 2020, July of 2020, around 370,000. August of 2020, an additional almost $60,000. So, my friends, very, very, very unfortunate events occurring here. Once again, when greed gets closer to you, when all that money and power, they think you're unstoppable. Guess what? You're not, buddy. You're not. And you are, in my opinion, a disgrace to the cause. Just a flat out disgrace, because at the end of the day, a lot of people put their hard-earned money to donate to a cause, hoping that can help benefit and uplift the Black community. Yet, as people within our own community that acts like a freaking, I'm not going to say the word because I'm running short on time. I don't want to cuss right now, but it's insulting and it's disgraceful, the fact that you are stealing people's money for your personal gain rather than doing it for the right cause. So guess what? I'm glad justice will serve in this case. My friends, do me a favor, continue to tune in to the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays, weeknights, okay, at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM, as well as online at WDJYFM.com. You can also listen to us on all major podcast platforms, as well as on the streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble. Make sure you register to vote. Vote, vote, vote. So much is at stake in this upcoming elections. Y'all take care. God bless. I'll see you next time, my friends. Peace.